This week on GamePron News, the Australian government wants to hear from you on the topic of video games. We got our first look at Modern Warfare 3 gameplay while we were teased by a mysterious countdown from the past. 2 video game tie-ins made headlines for mixed reasons. CD Projekt Red had a big week and so did Hothead Games. Meanwhile, there's some big news from the Duke. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. If you're in Australia and you care about video games, the federal government wants to hear from you. The Attorney General's Department this week published some draft guidelines relating to the classification of computer games, which spelled out what exactly could be included in an R18 adult rating, and now it's time for you to have your say. Your feedback will tell the ministers exactly what the public thinks about the draft guidelines, making it easier for them to make a decision about the introduction of an adults-only rating at the next Standing Committee meeting in July. We've got the full document on our website, but to sum it up, the proposed R18 rating would see virtually no restrictions on language or adult themes, drug use and nudity would be permitted, sexual activity may be realistically simulated, and violence is accepted, except where it offends against the standards of morality, decency and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults. This means that games like the original version of The Witcher 2, which was modified to remove a scene where sex was used as a reward, would theoretically be rated R18 and allowed into the country. However, a title like Blitz the League, which incentivised drug use, would still be refused classification, as a general rule, as would any title which includes interactive drug use which is detailed and realistic. So how do you feel about all of this? The Attorney General's Department has a short one-question survey, and it's multiple choice, plus the ability to add a comment of your own. If you live down under and care about your games, whether you want the new rating or not, go vote. But now onto something a little lighter but no less controversial. The first in-game footage from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has been released, and it's very shiny indeed.
It doesn't take the most powerful nations on Earth to create the next global conflict. Just the will of a single man.
Obviously, any country without an easily reversible E in its name should be safe. The new Modern Warfare picks up where the last one left off, with a world in crisis and the protagonist left in a crashed helicopter on a New York street. First impressions have started popping up, and it sounds like Infinity Ward's Newie is something to hold out for, but will it be good enough to hold off the impending attack that is Battlefield 3? As a contemporary gamer, do you feel stifled? Are you barely suppressing your building road rage? Do your fingers twitch at the mere idea of a modern video game that will let you vent your feelings, race aggressively, and score points for each crash? You might be in luck. The Carmageddon website has just been updated with a countdown ticking over the seconds in the lead up to June 1st. The original game was a smash hit, literally, when it was released for PC back in 1997. And even though the later sequels didn't perform quite as well, that's not stopping the wave of nostalgia triggered by this update. It's also triggered a wave of confusion. The original Carmageddon IP was published by Eidos, who has since been bought by Square Enix. Everybody just assumed that they'd be behind the new game too, but a spokesperson for Square Enix has admitted that the company no longer holds the rights to the IP, meaning nobody's quite sure who's working on the reboot. Only a few more days to go until we find out though, so keep your fingers crossed. Other big news this week saw a couple of big developments in the movie world. Cult director Takashi Miike has signed up for a Japanese-only live-action adaptation of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, as revealed by Capcom. The film's due out in the Japanese spring of 2012, and we can confirm that Phoenix Wright will be played by Hiroki Narima, who has appeared in Yakuza 4 and already has a unique hairstyle of his own. Turning to Hollywood though, we're not sure whether the latest on the Uncharted movie is good news or bad news. Director David O. Russell, who's been attached since the early days, has officially pulled out of the project. He's apparently left Sony on amicable terms, but leaves not only an empty director's chair, but also a vacant spot for the film's writer. Expectations are that, with the inevitable overhaul, any rumours and suggestions about the film will all go back to the drawing board too, meaning that Mark Wahlberg is no longer the frontrunner for the role of Nathan Drake. In the lead up to E3, which is a little over a week away, many games companies are keeping their big reveals very quiet. Ubisoft has bucked the trend, however, this week revealing plans for Ghost Recon Online, a new free-to-play instalment in the best-selling franchise. We had heard previously about a console title in the works, Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and Ubisoft have confirmed that this is not it. Instead, Ghost Recon Online is a third-person, cover-based tactical multiplayer shooter currently in development at Ubisoft Singapore. Keep an eye out, not only are we expecting more news at E3, but this one's scheduled to enter beta mode in just a few months. CD Projekt Red are also making a big announcement at E3, sending out invitations to a presentation which will feature key facts and a live gameplay demo for a brand new project. Senior producer Thomas Gopp has hinted that console gamers might be interested in this one, fueling rumours that it may be an incarnation of The Witcher 2 on console. This was made even more likely by an ESRB update later in the week, which revealed an Xbox 360 version of the game had been rated for American release. Before the rumour mill could turn too quickly, however, the entry was deleted and the site reverted to show the PC version only. The Polish developer has been busy behind the scenes too, releasing the delayed 1.1 patch for The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings and officially removing the DRM from the game. Apparently, the copy protection system used on non-GOG or Steam versions of the game had been causing frame rate issues for some gamers, and rather than trying to work around the issue, it was just easier for the company to remove the offensive part. Hothead Games has made not one but two announcements this week, neither one with particularly much useful information to back it up, but both showing plenty of promise. Firstly, in case you missed it, Wednesday, May 25th was Towel Day, in memory of Douglas Adams, the British author who created The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's only fitting then that it's also the date that Hothead Games and Megadodo Publications confirmed that the series would be getting a new video game adaptation. We don't really know anything other than that, so, stick around. The other game announced was The Baconing, which used a handy video to explain itself. Again, we don't really know much else about it just yet. It's a standalone experience that focuses on the mythology of the bacon fires and promises to be a lot of fun. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And finally this week, the end of the world really is upon us. Hell has frozen over, pigs have flown, doomsday has been averted, Duke Nukem Forever has gone gold, is currently being mass-produced and is ready for its worldwide release next month. Never thought I'd actually say that. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen and this is GamePron News.